Good morning. This is Kori Propst, Wellness Director at the Diet Doc, and I wanted to film a short video for you detailing a very important piece of behavior change, and it's a concept that really relates to changing the environment versus changing yourself. And I recently had an instance with a client who, because I work with people who are really focusing on losing weight, and this was a person who had a very successful weight loss process. And in my work, what we're really focusing on in behavior change is the ability to maintain those changes, which is difficult for most people. In fact, 98% of people, after they lose their weight, gain it back. But this person had a very successful run, and our focus was on creating a greater level of awareness and getting this person in touch with, to a greater extent, what it was within that person's environment that he could have an impact on and change, in addition to how he could change internally and intrapersonally. Unfortunately, within probably 3 years after he had lost his weight, he really went through a difficult time that created a lot of stress in his life. And he gained all of his weight back and more, and we see this often. The mistake that he made was in not continuing to be very persistent and consistent in learning how to manage and be with his emotion and his feeling in a very effective way. Granted, the transitions that he was really trying to navigate were incredibly difficult and stressful. At the same time, it's really our job as clinicians and healthcare providers to be working with our clients according to where they are in their stage of change. And as he was losing weight, we did do a lot of anticipating of barriers. What could go wrong? What might throw a wrench into this long-term plan of his? But we see it so often. I like to think of this difference between environment and internal processes from this perspective. Imagine you're driving down the road, and it's a very well-used road. And when you look at well-ingrained patterns, you can imagine that it's like grooves in your brain. Neurons that fire together wire together. So the more you put your attention toward one thing, the more your attention is going to go toward that one thing. So there's this well-grooved road that you're driving down, and it's pouring rain, and the grooves in the road are filling with water. And you're finding that when you continue driving down that same road and following that same path, you start hydroplaning. Now you're out of control. You don't know which way to turn the wheel. You don't know what to think or what to do or what action to take. Well, you have some options. And unfortunately, a lot of people in situations that feel out of control, number one, don't feel like they have options, don't feel like they have a choice. We always have a choice. We might not like our choices, but the choices are there. So we have to get really good at seeing them. But we have a choice as we're moving down this road and we're feeling a bit out of control to gently guide your vehicle over a little bit to move it out of the grooves, right? So now we're driving down, now we're on a more level playing field. Now we're on more level ground. We're not feeling nearly as out of control. But with behavior change, sometimes that's not enough of a change to make, to continue down a similar path without making bigger, broader changes to the environment. So here's the other choice. We can take the exit route. We can take the exit, choose a completely other route then, which in these terms of behavior change would be a substitute behavior. And now we have another option presented to us. So we can continue down the same road, or we can take a completely different route. And I think what a lot of people believe is that they don't want to become a burden to the people around them. So to ask for changes to be made by loved ones or friends becomes a very difficult piece of the process, but it's a necessary one. So you guys get to decide whether you want to keep leaving the things in your environment that you recognize are triggers for negative behavior or cues for negative behavior, or do you identify those things and find ways of moving them out of the way? And you can ask for help in doing that. So think of it from that perspective. It might give you some new ideas and broaden the possibilities for what you have in front of you and the actions that you can take as you move closer to your goal.